Recently, I got to ride Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood, which is a Morgan hypercoaster that was formerly an Aero Looper from 1991 to 2000. Back in 1991, it opened with the world's longest drop on any coaster at 225 feet, which is now 228 feet. And it featured 4 different inversions, which were a loop, batwing, and a corkscrew. I never got to ride this coaster, but I hear it was very painful and it was one of the worst roller coasters ever. But is this the case for Phantom's Revenge? Not at all. This is easily one of the best roller coasters in the entire world. But is it my favorite roller coaster in Pennsylvania? The first change I'm going to talk about are the restraints. Kennywood didn't want brand new trains manufactured, so they asked Morgan to retrofit the old Aero trains with lap bars and seat belts. And these are not just regular lap bars. As some people say, they're pretty much just pool noodles that rest a good 5 inches above your lap. And you will be getting lots of airtime. But Morgan did more than just that. They retract the whole coaster except the lift hill, so that means you still get the amazing Aero lift sound. And they also took out all the inversions and replaced them with airtime hills. And this is probably one of the smoothest roller coasters I've ever ridden. Besides a few moments where you quickly go from negative to positive forces, it feels as smooth as a B&M. And before you click off thinking, Phantom's Revenge doesn't even look good in the POVs, why would I want to watch a review of it? That's because in any of these POVs, it doesn't look nearly as fast as it feels. But let's waste no time and get right into the layout. You start with a dip out of the station and ascend the 160-foot tall lift hill, which takes around a minute to get all the way up. But when you do, you drop down to the ground, somehow giving floater airtime in the back rows, and then you fly through a section of straight track. But it doesn't bother me at all because of how short it feels and how fast you're going. Then you ascend a hill that turns to the right, which probably gives airtime in the front row, but I wouldn't know because all 5 of my rides were in the back rows. But this hill isn't just any hill. It's the iconic 228-foot drop into the ravine. And you do not realize how deep this ravine is until you ride the coaster. Because at the top, you can't even see the bottom. It looks like you're just going to be falling forever. And it's especially crazy because you get a pop of ejector airtime down the drop. After you make it to the bottom through an insane head chopper, you pull out in what's one of the tightest pullouts I've ever seen. Keep in mind this roller coaster goes 85 miles per hour at this moment. I grayed out every single time I rode this coaster, and as you are still graying out, you get laterals on this turnaround. Then you slam back down in your seat and experience the first of the insane bunny hills, which has an even crazier head chopper than the one in the bottom of the ravine. But about the hill itself, it will only be able to start to prepare you for what comes next. It has strong floater airtime and is very sustained, so it's crazy that you're literally out of your seat for that long. Then you start mentally preparing yourself for the finale, which is my personal favorite on any coaster. It starts with a small little dip that completely launches you out of your seat and tries so hard to kill you, but that's not it. Up next is my favorite element on the whole ride, which is this sustained ejector hill that tries to kill you even more. With one of the strongest ejector moments I've ever felt, right behind Skyrush's drop in the back row. And because you're still alive at this point, Phantom's Revenge tries to kill you one more time with an insanely rapid double down. I don't even know how this element is possible. You barely have any time to come back down in your seat before you just get ejected right back out. And then you have one final step up before you slam back down extremely hard and hop into the brakes. So if you couldn't tell, I will be giving this coaster a 10 out of 10. I really wish I could give it an 11, but that's not really how this works. If you live anywhere less than like 8 hours, you have to go out and ride this coaster. Or if you're making the trip out to Hershey Park or Knoebels or Dorney Park or any of those Pennsylvania parks, you cannot sleep on Kennywood. Not only is this a really nice park, but to answer the question from earlier, Phantom's Revenge is my personal favorite roller coaster in Pennsylvania. Yes, I said it. barely beating out Skyrush and Wildcat's Revenge, which are also two of the best roller coasters in the world. And Phantom's Revenge lands in my number 2 spot in my overall coaster rankings. If you enjoyed this review, please like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video.